Hey, how's it going? Today is one of those days that it's so hot that I have to take turns using all of my electronics individually because they just keep overheating. Ugh. That's alright. We're gonna have fun either way. Today, I'm doing a really pretty resin project. I made this mold a few months ago from just a bowl that I found at Value Village. It has all these flower petals, so we're gonna just be using all the springtime flowers that we've collected so far. I wanna use those ferns that I found last week in this, so I'm pretty excited. So along with the flower petal bowl that I'm gonna do, I also wanted to bring back one of my other older molds of just an oak leaf. It's a really flat oak leaf with a really pretty detailing in the middle. So I only expect this project to take a couple days. Hopefully we don't make any mistakes along the way, but let's just get straight into it with organizing all of our flowers and making sure we know what we're doing once we got that resin poured. Within the past few days, these beautiful big pink flowers have been blooming in my front yard. They're so nice, so I decided to pick a few and dry them out in some silica gel. It only took them 2 or 3 days to dry out completely, and I'm definitely trying to stockpile these for future videos because things come and go very quickly, I've noticed. Sometimes flowers only stay like 2 days and then they're gone, so taking advantage now, not taking too many, but taking just enough. Hopefully I'll be able to fill a mason jar with these beautiful pink petals. And then I sort out my favorite materials that I have right now to figure out some nice compositions. Silica gel is the best and I love working with it and it works so well, but one of the terrible things about it is the little tiny crystals really get stuck inside of the flowers, like within all the petals and stuff, so you have to gently shake it out. I've destroyed many flowers from doing this, but you really got to do it because if it falls out into your resin, it could sink straight to the top of your piece and really ruin the clarity of that top layer. So yeah, just gently shake them out, do your best, but expect flower casualties. Starting off with pouring just a little bit of resin in each of the molds to coat a first layer over the entire mold to avoid any air bubbles appearing on the sides of the molds. Also, here's a little resin hack. If you have any old plastic bottles lying around anywhere, just cut the tops right off and use them as disposable cups. Disposable cups are so useful when working with resin, so it's kind of unavoidable, but I found this to be a really great way. Also, I'm saving money, also just recycle. This flower petal mold is so hard to work with sometimes. It's hard to make sure the flowers go exactly where you want them to go and just to make sure that everything is full of flowers. And I actually don't mind any empty spaces of resin because resin is such a beautiful material in itself, but I try to get a really good consistent color throughout it and a good variety. I just get down and dirty with it. Honestly, I should be wearing gloves. Please don't call me out. And then for the half spheres, I wanted to add a white opaque bottom to them, just so the colors really stand out and you can see everything that's going on. I add some Pinata white alcohol ink and let each layer of resin sit for about 6 hours before I add the next layer. And then once I'm finished playing around with everything, I let the pieces sit for a full 24 hours before I unmold them. I try to keep them in the sun when the sun's out, and I'm just really patient with it. The half spheres come out so beautifully. I love using a simple mold that just pops out. It's like the most satisfying thing ever. But very on the contrary, these latex molds that I've made myself require a lot of stretching and pulling and working them off of these pieces without damaging them or anything. It's kind of difficult and it really takes its time. The latex molds also don't leave a very shiny of a coat, so everything needs a top coat after they come out of a latex mold, but I basically give everything a top coat anyways because it just adds such a nice shine. But before I do that, I use my Dremel to buff out any of the imperfections on the resin. Basically, where the seams were of the mold, I have to make sure that's all flat, and then I can add the top coat, which will clean everything up super nicely. Talk about these pieces a little bit individually just because I think they turned out so nice. I love how pigmented all the different colors stayed. Can we get some white background, please? Like, it's still not really working. So I put this one pink flower right in the middle and it kind of tore up a bit, but it turned out really pretty still. I wish I knew the name of that flower, but the plant is just outside. It's like a big tree. Yes, this is definitely the star of the show this week. I also threw in some carnation petals throughout the middle of this. Then it mixed it with some white flowers over here, some lighter pink and some violet flowers, and it's a complete vision. Really delicate, really nice little fish. And then I made this half sphere as well, which turned out really good, except the flower in the middle, it turned a little bit orange, not as pink as it used to be. I guess it just wasn't completely dried out, but then it has this other purple flower here, and I just love the depth that it creates. You can see the transparency in some of those flower petals. This is a bunch of lilac. It has a hue of purple, but again, the middle right there, it kind of died a bit too much. Must have not been completely dehydrated. And then I tried white bottoms on these guys, which I think it looked really clear. It makes it really easy to see all the flowers that are going on in there, so I really like that effect. It's very opaque, even though it's kind of crooked on this one. Oops. But yeah, I need to touch this one up a little bit more before I do anything with it. I love these. These are such nice little paperweights. I'm gonna be posting these in my Etsy shop very shortly, and I think I'm gonna be going to Value Village for next week's video. I kind of want to do something totally fresh, totally new. I haven't made a mold with you guys in quite a while, so I want to do that, bring it back to the OG. I cannot end this video with saying bringing it back to the OG, so I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching. Look at these beautiful glamour shots. Like, when the sun hits these pieces, that's when the magic happens. And as always, all the tools that I used in this video will be listed in the description. If you want to go purchase those on Amazon, I will receive a commission from that, which would be nice, but obviously don't buy things you don't need. But I'll have the mold builder, the half sphere molds, and the brand of resin, and all that information will be in the description. And I'll see you next Friday for another resin art video.